chemical bonds, ionic and covalent bonds. Before starting the lecture, click on the subscribe button and get access to our 100 of conceptual lectures for free. Firstly, let me quickly teach you about metals and non-metals. We know that in the periodic table, Group 1 and Group 2 elements are metals like sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium. While we also know that elements like carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and Group 7 elements like fluorine and chlorine are non-metals. Now, how ionic bond and covalent bond exist when these atoms combine together chemically? Well, metals plus non-metals combine together chemically and they form ionic bond. For example, sodium chloride or table salt. Here, sodium is a metal and chlorine is a non-metal. So there is ionic bond between them. Secondly, when non-metals plus non-metals combine together chemically, they form a covalent bond. For example, carbon dioxide. Here, carbon is a non-metal and oxygen is also a non-metal. Hence, there is covalent bond between them. Thus, remember that ionic bond forms between metals and non-metals, while covalent bond forms between non-metals. Now, what is ionic bond or how we define ionic bond? Well, chemical bond which is formed due to complete transfer of electrons from one atom to other atom is called ionic bond. Note it down that metals having low ionization energy always lose electron or electrons, while non-metals having high ionization energy gain electron or electrons. For example, consider the formation of sodium chloride. Here, in this ionic compound, sodium is metal and chlorine is non-metal. The total number of electrons in the sodium atom is 11. And the total number of electrons in the chlorine atom is 17. Remember that in the Lewis structure, we represent the electrons of one atom by the dot and the electrons of other atom by the cross. In sodium atom, there is only one electron in the outermost shell. We call it valence electron. And the chlorine atom, there are 7 electrons in the outermost shell which we call valence electrons. Now listen carefully. If sodium loses this valence electron, it will get stability because its octet rule will be fulfilled. Secondly, if chlorine gains 1 electron, it will also get stability because its octet rule will be fulfilled. Thus, sodium loses this 1 electron or valence electron and chlorine gains this 1 electron. Sodium becomes positive ion or cation and chlorine becomes negative ion or anion. These both ions have now opposite charges, due to which electrostatic force produces between them. This electrostatic force generates ionic bond between them. Therefore, we say that ionic bond is formed when metals lose electrons and non-metals gain electrons. Now, what is covalent bond or how we define covalent bond? Well, when 2 or more atoms join together by mutual sharing of electrons is called covalent bond. For example, consider the formation of oxygen gas. Here, let me write one oxygen atom and another oxygen atom. We know that the total number of electrons in single oxygen atom is 8. In the valence shell of oxygen atom, there are 6 electrons or 6 valence electrons. It means that if this oxygen atom gains 2 electrons, it will get stability because its octet rule will be fulfilled. Similarly, if this oxygen atom gains 2 electrons, it will also get stability. Now to stabilize themselves, these 2 oxygen atoms come together and mutually share 2 electrons. It means that one pair of dotted electrons come from this oxygen atom and one pair of crossed electrons come from this oxygen atom. So we say that 2 pair of electrons are shared between these 2 oxygen atoms to form oxygen gas. Also, you must know that these 2 shared pair of electrons neither belong to this oxygen atom nor belong to this oxygen atom. Rather, they belong to these both atoms. Therefore, we say that when electrons are mutually shared by atoms, they form a covalent bond. Finally, let me give you a bonus tip. Do you hear or know about single covalent bond, double covalent bond, and triple covalent bond? Well, if one pair of electrons is shared between atoms, they form a single covalent bond, like an chlorine gas. If 2 pairs of electrons are shared between atoms, they form double covalent bond, like an oxygen gas. If 3 pair of electrons are shared between atoms, they form triple covalent bond, like an nitrogen gas. This was all about chemical bond, ionic bond, and covalent bond.